What's going on, guys? Kage here, and yesterday I ran a poll on my Facebook right here as well as on the official Discord of React with 1 if you want to see the Fairy PvE ranking video, or a 2 if you want to see a surprise video related to the Ranger rework. Overwhelmingly, people picked 2. I also put towards the bottom, the winner will be released tomorrow, Friday, that's today, and the other is released as a bonus video on Saturday, tomorrow. That second video will also be viewable earlier by YouTube channel members. If you remember, you'll see it on my Discord channel for you guys if you want to join and support your boy. So let's jump in and talk about that surprise. So in the game right now, we have the marigold boss, where she has a purple-blue color going on. You get bonuses if you're using the new Earth Fairy. And I want to look at her abilities, because I feel like if her abilities were just put on the Marksman, everyone would be happy with Marksman, or at least better than we currently have it. So if we take a look, her first ability is a wind up and a straight arrow shot. That is the same as the original first shot of the Marksman, as well as the current one. She also has very little wind up when she does this, besides the initial color on the ground. I believe, obviously, as a player, you can get rid of that, and it just does what the first skill used to do. And then if we take a look at this one right here, this is very similar to the old third skill of the Marksman, where it does a brief wind up and then shoots the arrow and then does a knock up with a decent range on the ground. This is exactly what it used to be as the third skill, where it would change the field of view where they're winding up, ooh, and then shoot it forward, does crazy damage and also does a knockdown. That's pretty much what we're looking at right here. And I'm not saying I want all the skills to go back to how they were. It's just very interesting that we have these changes and they put them on a boss monster very shortly after the rework. Then we have this one right here, which is similar to the old second skill on Wind Chaser, but with 3 areas. Obviously, they would make these areas smaller when you make it a PvP, but very similar to how the Wind Chaser has changes based off of if you use the first skill before the second skill or the third skill before the second skill. Having this change depending on what skill you use first could be very, very powerful and allow some showing of skill. If they wanted to keep that to only being a Wind Chaser type thing, then sure, make it like a spread in front of you, very similar to the Wind Chaser's second skill, where they just do a quick spread shot. Make it these 3 circles, but make it a spread right in front of them, as if you're laying down traps of down arrows. Last but not least, they have this skill. So this skill, she shoots an arrow right here, and if you stand inside this circle right here, you are invulnerable. So if you stand in that heart, I feel like this marigold was meant to be a with all of her hearts and stuff. She's meant to be Cupid. She's meant to be I mean, you have literal hearts on the screen right here. Valentine's boss, which is kind of weird that we're a couple weeks off of that, but puts you in the mood, I guess. But you stand in there, you take 0 damage. But if you're out of here, you take damage over time, similar to the priest third skill, Thunder God, where, I mean, even the animation is pretty much the same, right? It's a circle and then shoots damage out instead of thunder and lightning going around doing the damage. This is arrows. But I believe as a marksman, you can also do these similar things and have a marksman work just fine replacing the current third skill. Now, jumping off of Marigold, let's talk about the actual Marksman as it is right now and get your feedback on what we think should be changed. If we take a look right here, we have that quick straight shot, as I said, quick corkscrew shot, does good damage, and then gives you a Sky Shatter. No problem with the Sky Shatter mechanic. I think the Sky Shatter mechanic is a good direction for the class. Then we have Shattering Arrow. They left this completely alone. Quick, does damage. You're good to go. You also have that Sky Shatter. You have to make sure you're using these Sky Shatters between the casts or you lose a lot of damage. Then we have Never Miss, which is probably my favorite skill in the entire rework. I like Never Miss as a skill a lot. Gives you a stack of enhanced multi-arrow, or 2 if you don't have any, and just gives you crit rate crit damage if you attack within your window. I think this is a very powerful skill as is. And then we have multi-arrow, which is pretty much the same, but instead of doing it based off of debuffs, you're doing it based off of enhanced multi-arrow stacks, which are harder to keep track of. So really, what we're looking at is multi-arrow has the long wind-up it's always had. Never Miss is just fine as it is. And then these two skills, Shattering Arrow is actually pretty quick for that little AoE flush, but the Vortex Arrow does have a bit of a wind-up. Now, a lot of the feedback is that you get stuck in animations, blah blah blah. That's mostly the case for Break Free, Shifting Bolt, and Butterfly Effect on the right side. But on the left side, Vortex Arrow and Shattering Arrow are just how they've always been, which if you're doing complete rework, only really changing the passive one ability and part of a second ability isn't really a rework, right? And a lot of people are noticing loss in damage because of this, how this Sky Shatter works, and also the cooldowns are just massive. So what I would like to see is, if they're going to keep these abilities kind of how they are, let's try to look at what the Marksman is as a class. They are high crit damage with burst from multi-arrow. So if we put that in effect, I think something like the Hunter from World of Warcraft, where Shattering Arrow, instead of being an AoE kind of thing how it is right now, even though it's kind of decent how it is, I would like to see it be like a trap, like I was saying in the Marigold effects. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think, but I would like to see this be a trap. You are the long range damage dealer. At least previously, Wind Chaser was very much close range or mid range, staying around and doing damage, where Marksman, the passive is literally called Hawkeye. You're supposed to be the ranged damage dealer, and we're really looking at some mid-range skills, which I'd like to see some long-range skills. Then the animations wouldn't be as bad, but obviously we would want those cut down a bit as well. So having this be a trap, you throw down the trap. Let's say I'm throwing out spitball numbers, but obviously they can clean it up. You throw it down, lasts for 10 seconds with a 5-second cooldown. It can charge up to twice. We already have charge type skills where you can have multiple of the same skill prepared. And if they step on the trap, they take damage over time, as well as they are immobile because they stepped on the trap and they gotta take the trap off. This allows you to pelt them down with other abilities. Now, Vortex Arrow, I would love to see it changed into what the third skill used to be, which is that big wind up. The whole camera pulls back and then you shoot it forward, and it does good damage on point of impact and does the knockdown. This helps keep you safe, keep them away from you. You don't have any innate movement skills, but you're all about setup and keeping people away from you is what I want to see from the Marksman class. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think we should just have the marigold type abilities, if you liked the abilities I just mentioned right now, or if you have any you would like to see in the future. I am sending this video as well as the comments down below up the chain so people actually look at this and we can try to get Marksman changed for the better. Giveaway for this video is Marksman. So put Marksman space and what you liked or disliked about the video to be entered into the giveaway. Till next time, guys.